I'm Tim Malloy with the Palm Beach Civic Association, and this is Palm Beach TV, your island's newscast.
We'd like to acknowledge and thank the Fortin Foundation of Florida for supporting our newscast. And now, Palm Beach TV.
I'd like to thank Maggie and Julie and our chiefs and our physician on behalf of the Palm Beach Civic Association for this forum, which is very helpful. We, as you know, live in a community of benefits and luncheons, and each and every week we gather with large numbers of people. So in best practices, what do you recommend or suggest?
Taking stock of a potential crisis, Palm Beach Civic Association President Mary Robinson expressing concern over the coronavirus, and we start with that big story that is developing. We're going to talk about what the town is doing to keep you safe and some decisions made by the Civic Association. As a precaution, the Palm Beach Civic Association Executive Committee has made the decision to postpone our upcoming events. The Global Speakers Series luncheon on March 17th, featuring Ken Griffin, will be rescheduled for early December. Our March 25th event, an evening at the Paramount, will be rescheduled at a later date. A notice will be forthcoming regarding the annual meeting on April the 6th. From David Duffy, the chairman of the Palm Beach Civic Association Public Safety Committee, this: I think we should all be very impressed and happy that the town of Palm Beach is so prepared and so well trained to handle whatever the coronavirus brings to us. Having attended the town council's very effective session on this, it became very clear that the Civic Association and all similar institutions in our community should heed the warning and join the town in their fight to protect us all. First step we have to do is review and make decisions about our own events, and we have. I think the leadership of the Civic Association stood up on this issue, and I'm very proud of it. My colleague Wendy Rutledge brings us up to date now on the town's planning and preparation.
Tim, as you know, the novel coronavirus, or COVID-19 as it's been named by the CDC, is a moving target. It is changing every single day. So here is the latest update from the town's Public Safety Committee, providing information designed to keep you and our community safe. As a fully suited paramedic displays his Tyvek protective jumpsuit, mask, eye protection, and gloves, Fire Rescue Division Chief Sean Baker assures town council members and residents attending the Public Safety Committee meeting that EMS is fully prepared for the emergence of COVID-19.
The very first thing we do when we get on scene is we give them that surgical mask. We put that surgical mask on the patient so that we can reduce the risk of the spread of any kind of sputum or anything that would be contagious.
Dr. Gerdock here mentioned earlier, we did a great walkthrough drill with them, helped us identify any potential gaps in our plans and get those gaps closed up, and just also, more than anything, gave our employees great confidence that we have a good plan, that plan's in place and it works well.
Knowing that fire rescue has an established protocol and that it has been practiced and tested is comforting, given the fact that the population of Palm Beach is comparatively more vulnerable to the coronavirus.
The average age of residents in the town is 68. We recognize that the risk in this town is probably a little greater than in some communities.
If our town is more vulnerable to COVID-19, just how concerned should we be?
It's natural for people to have two different reactions to this. One would be, and you've seen this a lot, it's all going to be just fine. And the other one is, oh my God, what do we do? What's the mortality rate? Good grief, what's going to happen next? Somewhere in between those two extremes is the reality of it.
According to experts, responsible public behavior is the key to limiting your own exposure and limiting the spread.
The idea is to implement respiratory hygiene, cough etiquette.
Maintain that 3 to 6 foot social distancing.
We saw social distancing played out at the March Town Council meeting, where attendees spaced themselves responsibly every other seat. Of critical concern, though, is when a potentially infected person does not or will not self-isolate.
And my question is, what do you do with a resident who has traveled to one of these places, is back, seems sick, but doesn't want to get medical care?
The answer is to report your concerns to the Palm Beach County Epidemiology Hotline, whose staff will then investigate. Finally, this urgent request from the mayor.
Please get on the town's alert system. It's easy to get minute-to-minute update results on COVID-19, its impact and information if you are on the alerts.
You can find those town alerts on townofpalmbeach.com by searching COVID-19. Bottom line,
Just do your best, don't get sick. That's the name of the game, don't get sick.
How not to get sick and what to do if you are. The town brought in an expert to give us some guidance. Dr. George Gerdock sees a lot in the Good Sam ER, but so far, thankfully, no one with the coronavirus. However, he's well schooled on precautions and symptoms.
90-95% of the patients that get this will be able to be treated at home and will not have any major disease. Even of the people with risk factors for more serious disease, which we need to kind of select out and identify them early, still most of them will do pretty well with that. So,
What to do about travel? The answer is a simple one. If you don't have to, don't travel.
for me, I can't get stuck in somewhere. Like I can't be stuck on an airplane, I can't be stuck on a cruise ship, it would just drive me absolutely crazy. So at the same time, just being recognizing though that you're in that situation with other people. So if you can avoid those situations, I'm not telling people not to travel, but at the same time, if it's potentially avoidable, let's just wait a little bit and see how this passes.
The use of masks is controversial and often misunderstood. This from Dr. Gerdock.
The common surgical mask is usually what patients or people that are concerned that have symptoms should be wearing. The N95s are really for the healthcare providers, EMS, police officers, anyone in the field that could potentially have an exposure.
Monitor how you feel. If you don't feel well, check to see if you have a fever. If you feel very, very ill, there is only one alternative.
Someone that's severe, if you really think that you're short of breath, high fever, and you recently did travel, 911. Right, we need to make sure because most of the treatment that we can give is supportive.
If you're not terribly ill, the ER doctor recommends supportive care. Same kind of care you'd give yourself if you had the flu. Stay home, self-isolate, do not infect your family, and get better. An update now on the influx of bufo toads, something we've reported on before. They kill pets. Councilmember Julie Ariskog has been at the forefront of warning residents about this for a couple of years now. Here's some comments from her, as well as some thoughts from someone who lost her pet to a bufo toad.
There were 2 families this year in the last 5 months who lost dogs to bufos. It was traumatic. We all read a letter. It's a horrifying, horrifying death to watch your dog go through, and it is very preventable.
Once I saw what was going on with my dog, we reacted within 60 seconds. And within 60 seconds, she had all of the things you listed: loss of balance, dilated eyes. We washed her, but she's so small that we had to try to do the paper towel technique. It didn't work. And she started seizing within 3 minutes, and she never stopped seizing. So we just threw her in the car, and we ran her to Island Vet. They weren't open. They were wonderful. They took her anyway. It was too early in the morning for them to be open, and they rushed her, and they gave her anti-seizure medication and fluids, but unfortunately, it was too much poison, and she was too little of a dog.
There's some very good information on how to care for your pet if it is poison, and just general information on bufo toads on the town's website if you want to take a look. As you no doubt know, the town of Palm Beach and the Civic Association have partnered in the commitment to rid our waterways and ocean of terrible plastics which kill sea life. And so it's good to know we have local partners in that regard. Ben Smith, a very talented surfer who lives on the North End, teamed up with fellow surfers and became ambassadors for a cleaner ocean. The Surf Riders went to Washington to meet with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. They had meetings with 145 Senate and House officials, urging legislation on climate change, plastic pollution, and water quality. The town is heavily lobbying Tallahassee to push through a bill to give Palm Beach the ability to unilaterally regulate single-use plastic bags. Palm Beach Civic Association is working with local schools, kids from Rosarian, Palm Beach Day Academy, and St. Anne's to compel their parents and adults to get on the team and start using reusable bags. He no doubt knows every inch of the island of Palm Beach, every easement, breezeway, alley, street. He's in charge of the undergrounding project, a big, massive, controversial project that is not done yet. Our Mitchell Friesen, photojournalist, caught up with Steve Stern, and Wendy Rutledge has that story.
Tim, Steve Stearns has a very tough job. He's got to keep this 10-year project on schedule and on budget. Now, I'm going to tell you that he just issued this public thank you to many of the residents who have already given their permission for easements to go on their property, but there are still a significant number of people who have not yet granted those easements, and that's a concern. Here's his update. Take a good look at this southern section of the island of Palm Beach, and it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. Big, ugly, possibly dangerous wires and poles.
If you take a drive down in that area, you'll see that south of the Lake Worth bridge, those poles are out of the ground, and it gives a completely new and improved look to the area.
For a project that will take about 10 years to fully complete, lots of early progress has been made. Phase 1 in the north and south are done. Wires are buried and poles are painstakingly being removed. Phase 2 construction is underway and scheduled to be finished by summer. Phase 3 construction has just begun and will continue for about 9 months. What has the potential to slow progress is the fact that the town has only been able to obtain 80% of the easements needed to move forward with Phase 3, just south of Worth Avenue.
Town's requesting those residents in that area, in the Orange Grove Road, Monterey Road, south to List Road, to please help us out and think about the aesthetic improvements of the area once we're complete. And we just need everybody's cooperation up there to stay on schedule and on budget.
What's at stake if residents and businesses refuse to grant the necessary easements is the hefty FEMA grant awarded to the town, which hinges on timely progress toward completion.
FEMA has generously awarded the town $8.5 million. However, we have to stay on schedule to maximize the money that we'll be able to apply for and spend on the town's behalf. And of course, that's going to lower our total cost for this project by somewhere in the order of 8 to 10%.
Next on the undergrounding agenda, a community meeting geared toward residents of the C streets. That's the Phase 5 area, and again, the primary concern is working with residents to secure signed easements so the project can stay on schedule and the FEMA grant money is protected.
Phase 5, including the C Streets, will be addressed Friday at the Mandel Recreation Center. I'm Tim Malloy with the Palm Beach Civic Association, where membership matters. If you are a member, we really hope you'll renew. If you're not a member, we really like it if you join us. Your support helps us inform and educate our members and impact our community. Our residential and corporate members enjoy benefits for 12 months, so it's never too early to join us or renew your membership. We took a few minutes to talk to some of our happy members.
The organization is very enlightening. The luncheon speakers are fabulous. They have all given me a sense of where they think the future of the country is going, where the future of the world is going. And having that type of an opportunity to speak with people of that caliber is always a great, great opportunity.
The Civic Association can help by educating residents, its members, and elected officials on the most important environmental issues that we're facing today. Those are water quality with the Lake Worth Lagoon, the issues of spraying here on the town, and other issues in the lagoon like expansion at the Port of Palm Beach or deep dredging in the channel. Those are really important issues that the Civic Association has been involved in and can continue to be.
It has exceeded my expectations as far as the networking it has provided, this thought-provoking issues it's brought up without becoming political. And in this environment, you know, that's why I appreciate the organization so much.
Palm Beach Civic Association has historically done and continues to do, particularly when it comes to raising awareness about the environment. Palm Beach Civic Association has historically been known as a respected organization. When they weigh in on something, it has a lot of influence, not just here on the island, but over at the county, and I think it's important.
You come from New York where you work for most of your life, and you come down here and you don't expect to see the same kind of environment. But Bob Wright and his people have done a great job running the operation. And the nice thing about it is it's a very diversified group of people. A lot of women, a lot of younger people, older people in between. it's just a fun organization.
We'll see you next week.